Hey, what's up? It's your girl, your one and only Alicia, and I am coming to you all with another inspirational video. Listen, I want to talk to you today about setting boundaries and how to set them boundaries and stand on your boundaries. One thing that I have learned is that people will take you for granted. They will do as they please. They will step over you if you allow them to. They will hit you physically, mentally, spiritually, in every aspect of your life any way that they can if you allow them to. And the only way is for you to set boundaries. If you don't like these things, you got to know how to set boundaries. One thing that I know for certain, the reason why many people end up in bad relationships, end up in bad friendships, end up in bad marriages. Why? Because those boundaries have not been set. Nobody took the time out to set boundaries, establish boundaries, and stand on those boundaries. The reason why you see so many people being crossed, the reason why you see so many people being hurt after hurt, experiencing hurt after hurt after hurt. Why? Because they haven't set boundaries. It's all about setting boundaries. It's about letting people know how far you can go, how far you cannot go, what I'm willing to allow and what I'm not willing to allow. The reason why people end up in relationships to where their mate can begin to talk to them any kind of way, disrespect them, they can call them out their name. The reason why they they go through this is because they tolerate it. You got to know when to set boundaries. I'm going to give you an example, prime example. At the age of 14, I had no idea what it looked like to set boundaries. I didn't know what boundaries was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do when it came down to certain things until I was crossed. Let me explain something to y'all. At the age of 14, I was molested by somebody who was close to me. And I talk about this because that's my way of overcoming it. At the age of 14, by me being molested, look, I didn't set boundaries. I didn't know what boundaries was. What I did know for certain is that I was uncomfortable. When this person would ride with me in the car with them, they would put their hand on my leg. It made me uncomfortable. I felt like in a sense that it was not right, but I didn't do anything about it because I'm looking at it at the fact that this person is doing this to everybody that sit in the front seat with them. So I'm thinking that this is the norm, right? Until this person crossed me completely. And when they crossed me completely, oh, you're talking about a person that was shy. I was so shy. I didn't talk much. I ain't gonna say I didn't talk much, but I was just this shy individual. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. But when that person crossed those boundaries, I bet you I learned what boundaries was. I began to set boundaries for myself. I knew then that I was not going to allow nobody to do anything to me that I didn't like. I was not going to settle for anything just because I see everybody else doing it. I learned at the age of 14 how to set boundaries. So I thought. It did not stop there because my life became a whirlwind after that. After my molestation, my life became a whirlwind. I still knew that I had boundaries. I knew that I had to set boundaries, but I did not really set them the way that I thought I was supposed to. I did what I thought was best, right? Like many of us. But what I failed to do was to stand on my boundaries. What I failed to do was to not allow people to overstep their boundaries. What happened along the way is I ended up in an abusive relationship. And so when I ended up in an abusive relationship, it started off with him playing with me. Oh, I'm acting like I'm hitting you. Oh, I'm acting like I'm choking you. I didn't set boundaries because I went along with it. Oh, it's cute. It's cute. I'm young. So I'm thinking that this is cute. I did not set boundaries. And so before long, oh, that cute turned into for real. That cute turned into an abusive relationship. That cute turned into him tearing me down mentally and emotionally. That cute ended up getting me choked out on the floor. That cute was no longer cute. That cute was abusive. That cute became so abusive that I was walking around with marks on my body that nobody else was able to see, but I was feeling those beatings. I was feeling that abuse. I was feeling that pain. And so what looked so cute was not cute after all. And even then, I still didn't set boundaries. I set boundaries based on what I thought. When I got out that relationship, I knew that I would no longer tolerate another man to disrespect me. When it comes down to playing with me and you want to play physically with me, I would not do that. I had to set boundaries on that way. But when it came down to love, because I didn't have my father in my life the way that I desired it, I began to seek for love in all of the wrong places. So certain things I would allow to happen. The physical, I knew I had experienced that. The sexual, I knew I had experienced that. So I was no longer willing to accept what was being dished out. I knew I had to set boundaries from that point forward. But then again, like I said, it did not stop there, because even after that, when it came to men, because I was looking for love in all of the wrong places, I was willing to settle. I was willing to go beneath what I knew I was worth. And so what happened was I started to look for something that my father did not ultimately give me. So I started looking for this in men, and I started to settle. And certain things that men would do to me, I settled because I didn't set boundaries. I settled because I felt like they were loving me just despite my faults, despite what it is that I'm going through, despite what I had been through. I felt that they had something to offer me, when in reality, they didn't offer me nothing but a heartache. I didn't set boundaries. And so what happened, I began to experience heartbreaks after heartbreaks, heartaches after heartaches, because I didn't set boundaries. I began to settle. And I'm saying this because when we do not set boundaries or know what our standards is, we begin to settle for less than what we are worth. Sometimes we don't even know what we are valued for. Sometimes we don't even know what our worth is. Sometimes we just want to be loved. And because a person show us some love or some attention, we begin to settle for whatever they have to give us. We don't set those boundaries. And even if we did establish boundaries, we do not stand on those boundaries. And I'm saying this to somebody: don't be like me, have to wait until you get older to understand what boundaries is, have to experience life after life after life to begin to understand what boundaries is. You begin to set your boundaries. You don't go lower than what you are valued for. You don't allow yourself to be deemed less than what you are. If you are in an abusive relationship, I don't care if it's a friendship, a marriage, whatever it is, God did not make us a punching bag for nobody. Understand this. Understand. We have to do better. When it comes down to setting boundaries, that means standing on what you believe. That means setting the standards at the door. If you getting in a relationship, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. And if a person cannot meet you where you are at and they continue to overstep those boundaries, you're going to have to cut them off, because you're not going to, you shouldn't settle. You shouldn't have to settle, because understand this: God created us so that we can have nothing but the best. The reason why we settle for so many things that we go through in life is because we have experienced something in our childhood, and it have allowed us to become people who are willing to settle for whatever we feel we worth. Sometimes we don't even know what we are valued. We don't even know our values. We don't even know our self-worth. And if we do, guess what? We settle. We settle. And so I want to challenge you, sister or brother, to set boundaries. Stand on what you believe. Don't settle because a person telling you that they love you. Don't settle because a person is trying to show you some love and affection and attention that you didn't get when you were younger. You have to know, as a child of the Most High God, that God desires for us to have nothing but the best. And so I want to challenge you that if you are in a relationship, friendship, marriage, whatever it is, set your boundaries. You stand on that. How do I set boundaries? You let them know, look, what you're doing is unacceptable. I'm not willing to settle. I'm not willing to accept that. And don't just speak it out your mouth. You got to stand on it with action. Because when a person crosses you, that should let you know, okay, They didn't overstep their boundaries, and you got to do something about it. I hope this video was encouraging unto you. Please, please, by all means, share this video, like this video, do whatever it is that makes you feel good. Set your boundaries, stand on it, and don't settle for anything less than what you are worth. Until we meet again, God bless you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for watching. I see you in the next video. Bye for now.